Good afternoon. It's Shirley with Spirit of Matter, and this is another episode in the Essential Oil series. This episode is about Atlas cedarwood, which I call the bear oil. So, Atlas cedarwood is a very rich oil with components we call sesquiterpenes, and what these do is they basically are considered base node in aromatherapy because these are big molecules, these are heavy molecules, and they're very grounding. They take more time to evaporate, and that means that you enjoy the smell, kind of stays in your nostrils after you sniff it. This is also great to, if we are calm and if we are grounded, then of course it's also anti-inflammatory, and it alleviates the kind of like stress-related ailments because it keeps you calm and grounded. It sends you to a meditative state where you can let go of your worries. And then I noticed what happened. Okay, we weren't particularly taught that when we were learning aromatherapy, but with my own personal use of cedarwood, I understood that as we are calm, just like animals, we can become more playful. And so I call this the bear oil, because it kind of have the quality of the bear, like a spirit animal. And there's just something about bears that have the videos that we see of bears usually as humans are bears breaking into a house to find some food. Okay, bears on the porch, bears using, if you have kind of like a rocking chair, um, bears use your rocking chair, a bear use your kindergarten stuff, and bears swimming at your pool. Okay, you're basically so calm that you can break into a human's house and kind of do whatever you want. So that was an oil that definitely accompanied me when I was in between houses and I needed to do stunts to even survive. And I called it bear oil. Okay, so it's very good for lower back. It's very good to center us and bring us to ourselves. But the part that they don't teach you in the aromatherapy careers, they didn't teach me, is that you see how I am right now, is that you gotta get playful. And it's not like you're drunk or you're high or intoxicated. You're just grounded, cool, calm, collected. And then what happens to animals naturally in nature is that when they feel safe, they are becoming playful. Okay, cats have the zoomies, bears just break into your house and do whatever the f they want to, and they're not here to make your house messy. Okay, they're just kind of like, hey, I like that pool, isn't that great? Hey, that rocking chair looks kind of neat. Okay, so, oh, there's food in that on that table, look, I'm gonna grab some. And they make themselves feel at home. Okay, so this is why I call this the bear oil, because it gives you a sense of home. It's also very heavyweight. We are now approaching Christmas, or Novikot, and this is a time where in the kind of like Western hemisphere, I'm not even sure that's the correct term for that. People are celebrating Christmas in the winter. For some, it's snowy, cold, and we kind of like the more heavy scents that wail around that give us this actually cozy um, environment. And there's just nothing like the bear oil to do that. Okay, sesquiterpenes we know are also good for changing cellular memory. Okay, so you have a trauma, and you want to reboot your cellular memory, the sprays are going to be very useful for that. But other than that, it's just going to be very useful in keeping you grounded and safe enough and cozy enough to be playful. Okay, and that is an oil we use for back pain. It's of course anti-inflammatory. We use it holistically whenever the person in front of us is kind of like needing to feel supported. So lower back pain is, oh my God, okay, whenever I have lower back pain, I'm like, please, bear oil, I need bear oil. Okay, and when I got it today, I was like, oh, finally, bear oil. I was going for the yarrow, then I grabbed some more, and I was like, oh, finally, bear oil. I missed bear oil so much. And the vendor that I opened it to sniff it, and the vendor was like, oh, I love this oil. Everybody loves this oil. It is a dominant smell, uh, but it's a cozy one. Okay, as usual for essential oils and scents in general, if there's a scent that you're like, oh, I can't smell it, I can't smell it, I can't smell it, then there are two approaches to this. One, go with what you like, and then maybe you will run into it, and then you will suddenly like it. The other approach is, if you can, try and smell it anyway. Okay, and then usually it decongests something in your psyche, and you're like, oh, give me more of that smell. Okay, um, so some people say, okay, you have work to do with this oil, and another approach can be, it's like, hey, go for what you do like. There are many paths to go towards something, and if something is like, that's a reject, and you don't want to transform what's in there or discover whatever is in there, is just too much. Okay, then you can either blend it in some other oils, or you can just say, okay, I'll I'll tend to it when I'll tend to it, which I think is something we should accept in the consultation, holistic, shamanistic, whatever, psychological even world. And let's normalize people tending to things when they tend to things. Um, and so willing consent is, yes, it's more important than for a person to work with something that they don't want to. Is how I see it. Anything more to say about cedarwood? So you can see there are the images. There are, yeah, I'm not really getting any like encyclopedia stuff. Yeah, but most of that is just the stuff that you would see everywhere else. So with cedarwood, it's quite safe to use. Like there's just really not much to say. It's quite safe to use. Um, Great for like any type of use, where it's in the diffuser, whether it's in creams, in a blend, or in a smelling salt. You can just put a couple of drops in a spoonful of salt and sniff it. Okay, then you put it in a bottle, and you have kind of like or in a sachet, or you can take that bottle and kind of like put it as a necklace. You can absolutely incorporate it into magic for magical uses of bear oil. I call it bear oil, first of all. I suggest you work with bears. Okay, work with the intelligence of bears and see what do you want, what do you need there. Okay, you don't have to go that deep into it. Okay, just kind of like cool, calm, cozy bear. Okay. And as if for magic, you could use it where you want to feel safe enough and playful. Okay, safe and playful, safe to be playful, safe while being playful. Um, that I think can this is just a quality that you can incorporate into your magic if you're using it magically. Anything lower back related. Lower back is the support in life. Are you feeling supported in life? Cedarwood is going to give you that feeling of I'm supported. I'm supported in this. I'm supported in life. Um, and, and that's really, really useful. Okay, like I said, it's an oil that I have worked with tremendously when I was in between houses. It's an oil that I bought for myself with the little money that I raised when I was in between homes. It was that important. Okay, still remember where I bought it, and I blended. I was sitting like in the bathroom, which was freezing cold, and blending the bottles into one essential oil blends when I'm literally in the street. Um, and that was a moment. And I later, when I used that, there was cedarwood in it. There was, I think, pine. I really don't remember what else. Probably mint or so. And then when I was going to kind of like a community place where they gave us a meal, and so then I helped the lady to serve the stuff, and she said, "Wow, you're so inspiring," and she got so connected with me. And of course, this helps. Like when you're homeless, you freaking need that. Um, and and I thought, well, I'm able to bring inspiration and joie de vivre to a person that kind of like has everything while being in this destitute situation. So that was bear oil. Okay, that's the quality of bear. Like I'm gonna burst into your house and feel at home there, and enjoy and be safe and be playful. You're gonna find me inspiring rather than annoying, for example. So that is something that I deeply recommend to try. And again, it's a very safe oil to use. We will avoid using essential oils as in the diffuser with infants. Okay, and again, I know that you have your. This is not about don't do it. I'm not telling you what not to do. I'm telling you what I would say to avoid, to not encourage you to do something that might hurt you. Okay, kind of like a do no harm. So being very, very cautious. For the dilution of essential oils, for body oil, we usually go 5%. If it's like face, then it's 0.5%. If it's like, yes, if it's like an essential oil blend that you use only on chakra points, that would go up to 70-80%. Okay, that's also very expensive. Um, if it is cream, then again 5%. For more concentrated stuff, you're gonna have to work with someone who knows what they're doing. But normally, if you do the 70-80%, or the smelling salt, which is 100% essential oil, then you're probably not going to need the 10% stuff. Okay, a body oil, peeling for the feet is absolutely in place. um, and whatever we put on our feet, we want to put like a hair serum. We kind of top that. I usually like to go from bottom to top. Whatever I put on my feet to put on my hair. So if my hair looks a bit greasy or oily, it's because I'm just generous with it. But you might be more kind of like perfectionist to me about this, and this is very much in place. I'm growing with my own habits too. So that's for the blending. For internal consumptions, again, I don't see why taking cedarwood for internal consumption, other than the like holistics. It's not that it's not going to do anything. It's that I don't see why. But then it depends on the person. It's not like mint, lemon, lavender that we take for against nausea or stuff like that. Uh, and again, we wouldn't be using essential oils with like pregnancy. Again, this is the extremely cautious version. It's like if this is your first time trying essential oils and you're pregnant, postpone it. Okay, that's the cautionary tale. And if you are going through chemo, then you must know that essential oils, they will eliminate things from your body. So this goes to medication, to chemo, to whatnot. So this is important to know. And yeah, we say, oh, surely there are hospitals where there are essential oils pharmacies next to oncological department. Okay, fine. Of course, there are the things that you do when you know what you're doing. I just don't want you to misunderstand me and hurt yourself. That's that. And if you say, oh my God, how can you say internal consumption? You're misguided, you're misguided. No, I'm not. I have made certification of the basic course, of the advanced course. I have like all the certification and all the knowledge. There is kind of like the British way and the French way. In Britain, one person took a spoonful of essential oil instead of a drop of essential oil in a spoonful of vegetable oil, and they died. And so they forbade taking essential oils internally. Okay, the rest of the world, it is practiced. There are some bacteria. Okay, there are some like streptococcus, helicobacter, that the essential oil treatment might be more effective because this is potent enough to actually address the issue. As always, if you use it medically, okay, not artistically or magically, if you use it medically, any sort of holistic medicine, this is not prescribed medication. Any sort of holistic medicine means you are making the changes in your life that are needed. Okay? This is the intelligence. It's kind of like a channeling intelligence that assists you on a spirit and matter level to go to the direction that you need to go in life. Okay, so it's not just the oil. And that's very important to explain on a bigger level. And if you're an aromatherapist and you prescribe internal consumptions, then please buy carrier oil, blend it with the carrier oil, and as much as you can, avoid putting the patient in risk for making a mistake. They're not stupid. We just want to be more user-friendly. If you're doing something yourself, again, for internal consumption, I don't see why you would be doing that. Okay, I just don't see why you would be doing that. I know that many people channel and so on and so forth, but I want to make sure that you know essential oils blend in oils and alcohol. Okay, and that's it. I'm not gonna like elaborate on that more. You don't put a drop of essential oil in your water. It's going to hurt your tissues. Okay, you might get away with that once or twice, but if you do it every day, it's gonna hurt your intestine. It's gonna hurt everything because it does not properly diluted. This essential oil is the most, is the strongest extract of the essence of the plant. Okay, it's literally the most potent thing you could do with a plant. Get a tincture, and the next step is an essential oil. Okay, you can do a tea, a tincture, an infusion of an infused oil, okay, and you can do an essential oil. Essential oil is the most potent stuff. It is potent. You take a spoonful of that, you're no longer with us. It's that potent. Okay, so just it's safe to use. Just make sure that you get a couple of guides. So this was bear oil. What to blend this with? Okay. Every blend for essential oils, we usually make sure we have the base note, which is cedarwood. The middle notes for kind of like monoterpenols, monoterpenes, Some would say esters, and then we have the high notes, which can be the cineols, the ketones, okay? So you would need to understand what are the chemical components of your oil. Get your education from non-MLM sources. Can't stress this enough, okay? There are a lot of MLMs to get into a lot of areas, and essential oils are not exempt from that. Let's do a little bit of a Google, do a little bit of a research. Um, and sometimes they would have even a way more expensive prices for the essential oils than they actually cost. They are expensive, but they're not that expensive because of the MLM structure, which is basically borderline illegal structure for a business. And so it's important because if you want to get the information correct, then, and it's not about certification, I did again all of the certifications you possibly can do with aromatherapy, which is not much, it's 2 certifications. Um, and you don't need any more than that. But what I have to say is that even if you have a certification, okay, when I'm using my oils, I go back to the books. I love doing that, and I make sure I'm doing that. It's not, you don't want to be that doctor that said, I learned 7 years medicine, da, 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 da. They don't even open the book again to see what's in the prescription because they're so used to prescribe it every day. Okay? That's not medicine, simply put. So you want to make sure you have the information. It's not about getting a certification, it's just about learning how more about the topic, so you'll get the basics, and from there where you work magically, artistically to make like a perfume, or more medically. You don't have to be scared of that. Our grandmothers worked with this stuff, and there shouldn't be a reason that we wouldn't work with this stuff. Okay, you're the authority of your medicine. That's that. So what to blend this with? So this is a base note. For a middle note, you can have the classical stuff like lavender. You can have the citrus oils where it's, I like to put orange in nearly every blend. It's deepening the breath. It's not for the toxic. The orange, the sweet orange, the bitter orange is. So phototoxicity is basically where you can't expose the skin to sunlight if you use it on the skin. Okay, that's phototoxicity. And you need to know the dilution and stuff like this. You don't that you can't, there's just percentage that you don't cross, or else you will cross it will be phototoxic. So our sweet orange can be a great middle note. And for top note, with this one, mandarin can actually be a good one for the middle note as well, because mandarin is a more active. Okay, it's a more active oil. It gets you to express your desires, and with bear oil, they can blend very, very well. And for a top note, I would put even something balanced like yarrow that I talked about in my other video, or cistus, which deserves an episode of its own, for the ketones. And both of them are whole oils, like they could stand for the base, middle, and top notes. But both of them are tending to kind of like the stuff that you might want to decongest from your system. Okay, kind of like the anti-traumatic stuff. And both of them can take you like the nice direction. You can combine them. So these are some options where you can have the heavyweight cedarwood with something light and fresh. You can always put a drop of mint or a drop of you can have mint. You can have eucalyptus is also great for you want to create a change, you want to create movement around the situation. So eucalyptus is lovely for it, especially if you want a little bit of space. Then eucalyptus can also grant you that, and that's totally another episode. As for crystals, well, snowflake obsidian is absolutely lovely, not because it's the same frequency, but because it's a matching frequency. And if you use that, you can use also a moldavite. But with a moldavite, make sure you already have a moldavite, because there are so many things that can give you the benefit of life transformation. You don't need to overmine a crystal. If you get a crystal, get it ethically sourced if you can. I'm not saying don't buy crystals, but definitely if you can get it ethically sourced, that can be great. For the snowflake obsidian, what I like about the snowflake obsidian with the bear oil is that it allows you to get at the deep things while being grounded. And the bear oil gives you that coziness, that lightness, that sense of humor that you need to release when you're releasing such stuff. Okay. What I like about moldavite, and again, the moldavite I would use with the snowflake obsidian, is that it's highly rejuvenative. Okay, and the bear oil is going to support you through the moldavite transformations, but only if you already have moldavite. Okay, just don't go get there and get another overmined, resource for other stuff that you could use. Um, you could try it with talismans, with astrological talismans. Okay, if you're doing moon magic is great because it's a great manifester. Okay, you can connect with asteroids, you can connect with comets, you can do experimental stuff. That can give you kind of like the flavor, or you can get another tektite. But yeah, you just want to make sure that you are, as much as you can, sourcing things correctly. And again, if you feel like, oh, I really want to get motivated, okay, and you get a calling for it. It's fine. So yes, that's it for today.